Living in the Deep South as a child, I always wondered why they flew the Dixie flag and quoted, "The South shall rise again." I've noticed there always seems to be a backlash from certain groups every time people of color make progress in America. After the emancipation, there was the Jim Crow laws and the Klan. Black Wall Street was destroyed in Tulsa out of racism. After desegregation, JFK was assassinated. And after Obama, there was the bogus Tea Party movement that evolved into the MAGA madness we see today. I've been feeling like there was some sort of group or collective that'd been hiding, waiting quietly for moments to strike, like some sort of Confederate hydra. So I picked up my tinfoil hat and looked closely at this country's oldest secret society, the Freemasons. One of the highest-ranking American Freemasons, Albert Pike, was also a high-ranking Confederate general who wrote Morals and Dogma, a very important book in Freemasonry that talks about the blind fury of man and how it can be used as a weapon. Albert Pike was pro-slavery and very racist. After the Civil War, Black people earned the respect of Freemasons and were able to join through Prince Hall Freemasonry. Pike did not like this and left the distinguished order that was once home to legends like George Washington and Benjamin Franklin out of spite. Pike was also part of another secret organization called the Knights of the Golden Circle, along with other famous Confederates such as John Wilkes Booth. Their goal was to create a self-governed autonomous economic zone in the American Southeast and Northern South America called the Golden Circle, with its center in Cuba having a radius of 16 degrees, which would be a major exporter of the world's cotton, tobacco, sugar, coffee, and rice, using slave labor. After the Civil War, the group dissolved and broke off into other groups. One of their members, Nathan Bedford Forrest, went on to form the KKK. Another high-ranking member of the Confederacy made their way to the Skull and Bones Society. Burton Norval Harrison, Jefferson Davis's private secretary. The Skull and Bones Society included members that became highly successful in government positions, such as George Bush Sr. and George W. Bush. Bush Sr. was the head of the CIA during the failed Bay of Pigs operation to storm Cuba. George W. Bush went on to further expand the military-industrial complex through the War on Terror with the Homeland Security Act and the creation of ICE. With the expansion of the military-industrial complex, the federal government now had unchecked power in any situation deemed an emergency, which you see now with Trump using DHS as his private army. Currently, our military is partnered with Palantir, a company that uses AI and cutting-edge technology for threat assessment, using data collected from everything and everyone. Palantir's co-founder, Peter Thiel, is also part of a project with other investors to create a self-governing city through seasteading, said to be a tech utopia operating under its own legal, regulatory, and tax framework called a ZDE, or Zone for Employment and Economic Development. This project is called Prospera, a city where tech billionaires can live and operate with a 1% tax and virtually no laws. Someone actually died in this city, and there was no consequences, no investigation. They just sent the money to his family. The dream of creating an autonomous economic utopia has evolved to this. Instead of using slavery, they use automation, but they will still have complete control over people's lives and information with unchecked power and virtually no accountability. Slavery, through the pseudoscience of racism, was the old model of economic expansion and exploitation of the world's resources. But in the future, everyone that's not a billionaire will be a slave to the technocrats. While the working class remains divided and busy arguing with each other, putting the blame on immigrants and minorities, the technocrats, along with Trump, are planning to build these freedom cities with no constitution, where companies have unlimited power and can control our lives at the push of a button. This is their new golden circle. It's all been leading up to this, and if we don't get our heads out of our asses, unite as the founders intended, and pay attention to what's going on, pretty soon it'll be too late.